Good afternoon, actually. So I am over here right now in Centralia, PA. You guys might be wondering, what is this significance here with Centralia? I gotta watch my step. I might fall in a hole here. Let's get into that. Back in 1969, this place had a little fire in a dump. And that fire in the dump was directly attached to a coal mine. So an underground coal mine. And if you guys know about coal seams, the coal seams run under the earth, and they happen to run all through this town. There's my truck and stuff, but there's Jen. But I'm on a street where houses used to be. These all used to have houses on it. All these streets right here. I'm going to do a little walk around. Not too crazy though, because I don't know where I'm stepping, and I got to watch out for stuff like that. Probably shouldn't get too close to that. Anyway, so I'm here because that fire resulted in the evacuation of the entire town. So barely anyone lives here. I don't know what the population is, but I could see a church, there's a firehouse, and on the edge of town, there's a couple houses. On the streets I'm standing on right now, Jen, I'm going to go for a walk right over there. If anybody bothers you, just tell them it's okay. I'm a YouTuber. Makes no significance or difference anywhere, but I like to throw it out there sometimes. Anyway, so we're going to take a walk. So all this here, there were houses here. Jen's on the main street here. There's a little street. Yeah, I know. Look, there's holes everywhere. There's little spots everywhere. I figured, why not come up and check it out, though, you know? So, it is a coal mining town, coal county. Here you go. Some coal. That's a dirty little reminder to this town and this neighborhood here. But it's everywhere. It's anywhere you look, there's coal. So, they tried to put this fire out underground, okay? But it's still burning till today. Almost 50-something years later, almost 60 years. It's still burning. But, I mean, you can look around. Empty streets. Nothing here. I was looking for the little standpipes. They had vent pipes to vent out the mines back in the day. That's on one of the cover pictures of the video here. But as you can see, there's nothing left. There's not one house on these streets. It's an eerie feeling, man, to know that, you know, hundreds or thousands of people used to be all over here. But of course, there's a graffiti road that's been covered up. So I'm not getting onto that, I don't think right now. I might later. We're gonna keep this going for a little bit here, so. But you know, there is graffiti. There's always gonna be graffiti, burnout marks, things like that. Anywhere where stuff's abandoned. Ah, wow, if that don't mean something right there. Woo, man. That was perfect. This town was killed for coal. It was killed on accident. And I'm bringing this up, guys. Bringing this up because Palestine. And that's why I'm bringing this up. Because this could happen to you guys in Palestine. And this is why I say fight back. And this is why I say get together and stay strong. Because all this shit could happen to you. This could all happen. They're going to let you sit in that mess for a little bit. People are going to leave. You're going to see those areas that are deemed unsafe. Houses will be torn down. The people will be evacuated out. Once the truth starts flowing, guys, they shouldn't be able to kill your town. They shouldn't be able to do that. And this is why I say fight back. This is why I say stand up for yourselves. You can't let these people divide you. So we're going to walk back down to Jen, and then we'll try to cruise up the street here and see if we can't find, I got to look on the map and see what direction that Jen has to go in. But we're going to see if we can't find that main road that's covered up. I just want to see it real quick. But believe it or not, there's a main drag that runs right through this town still. There's plenty of cars that use it. And assume, since all these houses are gone, that there's a mine beneath my feet.
Yeah, you keep losing service, by the way.
Do I? Oh, great. I keep losing service. That's good. Hold on, guys. Let's hang up here. All right, let me... I see a lot of windmills. There's a lot of windmills in the distance. You guys can see them. It looks like they plugged a bunch of windmills up there.
Oh yeah, I gotta put the link in for the Amazon.
Okay. Well, Jen, we're gonna go up the street. I just want to see the GPS in a minute here. So guys, I'm just saying the importance of what we're doing. I'm just telling how important it is, because the people of East Palestine don't understand that this can happen to your town, and it's still burning. This problem is still going on over here in Centralia. It hasn't gone away in the last 50-something years. It's still burning under the ground, and they're still mining up the road. But the thing is here is I'm trying to figure out, let's see, where's this highway?
It's got an eerie feel over here.
It is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, what's that, Silent Hill?
Yeah.
I think so too, G-Union.
Just to know there was a house that probably sat here.
His lives were uprooted.
Yeah, so.
You know, and there was people that decided to stay. Like there were people that decided to stay, and they ended up living it out. And you know, there was nothing in this town. So if they relied on the little deli down the road to get their food every week, or something like that, it left. That was it. It was gone. They were here by themselves. You know, a couple people. I mean, literally, they got a firehouse and a church. That's pretty much it. I'm looking for that highway. It came in, but they erased it from the map because it's under a road. So, I'm trying to find it here. You know, your GPS sucks because it doesn't give me the satellite view. Yes, absolutely, Cato. They had a less severe problem and they still got more help. So, like, East Palestine should be getting top-notch help right now. Like, these guys got thrown out. They did get help. They did try to put the fire out. They did all that. But you got to imagine the fumes, the carbon monoxide that gets released from the ground. It went up to people's basements, into their houses, and was killing people. You know, not to mention the sinkholes that were developing because the mass of coal that used to be under the house has collapsed. The groundwater soaked the ground and it sunk in, and these people's foundations were collapsing. Like, bad things were happening to these people in this town. And I definitely wanted to come over here to make an example of, like, this what can happen to East Palestine. This can happen in your backyard if there's an accident again. So this is what the result of an accident is. I mean, people lost their lineage here. When they say, oh, man, I had 10 generations in Centralia. Now you don't. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens when they forget you. When they say, oh, it's our mistake. Here, have a couple bucks, move out. You know? It's not fair to the people that live in these towns, man. They didn't ask for your industry to come in there and destroy shit. They didn't say, hey, Norfolk, drive all these chemicals through our town and put our lives at risk every day. They didn't ask for that. They were kind enough to let you run that track through their town. They were kind enough to let you dig those coal mines under their town. In the expectation that you would keep them safe, because there's safety protocols in place to make sure that people don't screw up like they did here, like they did in EP. What's next? Who's next? Who's next to the next big mistake? Wasn't there just another spill? Ethanol? Where was that? Minnesota?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so there's a town of like 800 in Minnesota just had to get evacuated to an ethanol spill. Philly, there's a latex spill. Was that into the river? There was one that went into the Delaware, I heard. And that was affecting Vin, I think. But I'm saying, I wanted to stop here in Centralia to make a point. I wanted to show you what happens. In 50 years, they forget about you. This town is barely on the map. It's barely on the map. A couple years, Google will stop recognizing these as roads because they'll be overgrown with grass. Stand up for yourselves, man, because this is the last chance you got. This is it. You're small town America, just like this, right here, and they wiped it off the face of the earth. It's not fair, and we got to do something about this, man. Their mistakes shouldn't be our problem. And this is their mistake, for sure. I just wanted to make sure you guys got to take a look at what can happen to you. This could happen tomorrow. They could say, hey, you know what? You guys pushed for all this testing. Now we've deemed it unsafe for you to ever come back. And they take your house down, and your grandparents that are buried in the cemetery down the road, you got to come back to a dangerous area to see them, or you got to spend a bunch of money to exhume the body and move the grave. What are you going to do with Grandpappy's tractor that's been there for 125 years? What do you do with this stuff? How do you replace your family's home that they built with their own two hands? How do you do that? Look around you here. There's nothing left. There's nothing here anymore. Nothing here.
No, it's sad.
And watch. We're going to go drive it up here a little bit. Just turn right here. It's just insane how there's nothing, just rubble. There's piles of rubble. There's old, like, walls that used to surround property. There's, like, you know, empty streets. Empty streets. Empty streets everywhere. Left and right. Empty streets.
Yeah, you could tell where the houses were sitting.
Yeah, there's like all these roads that go off to the sides that, you know, people used to live in all these houses around here. And then they took the houses out. They got rid of everything.
Cemetery.
Yep. This is the main road right here on the right. This is that spray painted road that goes all the way down. It just has huge piles of dirt on it now. And because Jen can't park anywhere with this trailer on the side of the road here, and we're not going to go pull into that cemetery because that's disrespectful. You know, unless I got a reason to visit a cemetery, I'm not going to use it as a parking lot. But yeah, it's basically going to go to the end of this road on the bottom. There might be somewhere we could park real quick and check it out. I'll try to. I've always gone out after I've seen a couple documentaries on it. Always wanted to check it out and see what it was like. But I'll tell you right now, that's another thing. That's another weird, eerie thing. There's like eerie stuff all in the woods. You could tell where houses were. There's like foundation spots, but there's no house. I'm just saying, this could happen to you guys in your town, wherever you live. This could happen right in your backyard. If you got a train industry or some kind of chemical plant, anything like that, man, you guys don't understand the dangers that you guys are in.
Why they close that road down?
They closed that road down because there's a fault line that goes through it now. That's about, I don't know, almost 1.5 feet thick, where the ground is cracked open.
Well, yeah, but when we were watching the documentary, people were driving on that road.
Well, yeah, they were still able to get on it. This is the other end of it here. Right here.
Oh, I see it.
Good job. All right, so let's take you for a walk. Can you do me a favor and just hang out here?
Yeah.
All right. Oh. And that's in, thanks. All right. So, this is the spot, guys. This is the end of the road here. Let me just give you a little view. Here's the end of the highway, the one that's spray painted. I think there was a name for it. Drone footage would probably do justice to this, but I'm going to do my best without a gimbal or a tripod or anything like that. But as you see, this is what they did to this road, so you couldn't come on it anymore. Just piles of dirt as far as the eye can see. And it used to be spray painted. The entire road spray painted. It's still spray painted. It's just underneath this dirt. So you can see it still. This is 50 plus years of spray paint. Angelina must have been here. Super, super eerie, weird feeling being around here. It's weird. Now, I haven't personally seen anything smoking, but then again, I'd probably have to go deep in here, deep off of this road here. I'm pretty sure these are all tailings from mines. Once a mine, you know, it strips off the layer that hides the coal. This is what it would be, basically. So you'd still have raw coal, like this. See? You'd still have raw coal, but it would just be a little bit. It wouldn't be worth salvaging out of this. These are just tailings. So there's all tailings from the mines. It seems like there was some kind of mining road or something that cut up here at one point. But as far as the eye could see, I'm standing in the middle of the spray painted road right now over in Centralia, if you guys are just joining us. I'm sure over time there have been some pretty serious artists here. There's some stuff still here. I don't want to stay out here too long because Jen's parked in a very precarious spot on a curve. It is the side of the road, and it is like a dirt spot that people pull in all the time. But it is a, you know, it's right out there, so. Got a UPS guy that beeped at us. Oh, maybe he beeped at Jen. She's standing out there now. It is pretty strange here, though, I gotta say. Just to know that this place has been left to rot. It's unusable land. The government, I guess, has seized it and says, you know, you can't live here anymore. Pretty eerie, right, babe? Did you see that? They covered that entire road with tailings. Tailings from the mines. What took place here? Okay, back in 1969, Patriot Mama, there was a fire in a dump in Centralia. Despite their best efforts to put it out, it leached into a coal mine through a coal seam that was near the surface. So it went down into the coal mines, and because of the mining, they opened up the tunnels, and the tunnels allowed air to get into the coal mines, and it began an underground coal fire, which burned and burned and burned till this day is still burning. In the 80s, I believe they tried their last-ditch effort to put the fire out by flooding the mines, but unfortunately it did not work. And like I said, now the entire town had to been evacuated. They told you it was unsafe to live here, and then because everything is left, all the businesses, everything like that, the rest of the people here suffered because there was no jobs, there was no nothing. They had to go to outside towns for their supplies, things like that. It made it much more difficult. This road right here, if we went further up this road and we had time to go walk it, it would have a giant crack through it. You can do a Google search to get a better idea of what I'm talking about. But I mean, it looked like hell in this town. The fire was coming out of the ground. Carbon monoxide levels were so high they would kill something in minutes in their houses. So it was a very unfortunate accident. And why I say it like that is because, you know, these accidents can be prevented. They could be prevented due to safety issues. And now that it's 2023 and we have some of the best technology in the world, there is no reason why we're using ancient technology like railways without computerized braking systems or sensors to tell you that the wheel bearing fell apart or anything like that. So I say, Norfolk, you dropped the ball and you didn't invest anything else into safety. And that's why East Palestine's suffering right now and can become this tomorrow. That's what pisses me off. This is what I think about when I think of EP. I think of them having to be like this in 20 years, in 30 years. Like this. You know? Nothing left. And for what? Due to an accident? Like I said before, no one asked your ass to come run a railway through their town. And these people have unfortunately been worried about this sick since the 70s because it's happened before. So I wonder what's across the street. You know what? I don't like that turn. Nah, I don't like that turn. Even the sign's spray painted. But this is the spot where the highway ended. This would have been the main highway going into Centralia at one point. But yeah, since that's it with that. We figured we'll just come and check it out while we're up here. So that way we could let you guys know that this is what happens in 40 years, 50 years after your town's been destroyed and poisoned, or mistakes or accidents happened. So you don't ever want to have to deal with that. And that's what happens, unfortunately, now. You know, an entity comes in, screws stuff up, says sorry, gives a bunch of money, pays some fines, and then that entire place is destroyed. You don't get to go raise your kids there no more. You don't get to go back for your 20th, school reunion. You know, you can't bury dad next to mom anymore. I know, it's sad. I know, but someone has to say it like that. Because these are the things you got to think about when your town gets destroyed and you're uprooted. And for me personally, no amount of money is going to change my history there. No amount of money is going to buy me out and say, hey, you know, your kids went to school for 10 years with the same kids, and now you got to put them in a different school. Some people, you know, they can't adjust to things like that. It's not that easy for everybody. And the government generalizes everybody into the same category as manipulated. Like, you can be manipulated and you know, sold on this idea where it's unsafe here. And there's people here that stood on, and like, they stayed here for years and years. But there's no one there now. There's barely anybody in that town. If they are, they're on the outskirts of the safe line, I guess you would call it. Wherever that would be. But this is it. I just wanted to jump on real quick, show you guys what can happen to East Palestine or to Minnesota or any of these places that are getting destroyed by the same industries that are supposed to boost the economy there. So, Norfolk, this is what I'm trying to show can happen because of your mistake. And you could do this everywhere. So pick up on the safety protocols, hire more people, and do the right thing when it comes to East Palestine. Because I'm going to push this video as much as I can to the people down there so they can understand what can happen to them. This is what it looks like 50 years after EP. Just remember that. All right, rant's over. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Might pop on later with another little video. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe.
Love you.